Alright, in this video we're going to talk about 3 of the most important things that you need to streamline your Airbnb business. Whether you've got 50 properties, you've got 5, or if you've just got one, all of these tools are helpful. These will be kind of the bedrock of everything that I do in my business, and everything we'll kind of talk about on this channel will branch out from these. 2 that are required that might need to be mentioned are Airbnb. First, you need a house for sure, but Airbnb and VRBO if you're going to use it, and any other booking sites. All of these tools that I'm going to show you work with all the booking platforms. So let's get into it. We got this green tea. We're trying to live forever. Let's go. All right. The first one is hospitable.com. What Hospitable is a property management system, or a PMS, as you might read online. What a PMS is a centralized location for all your listings across all the booking channels. This Hospitable actually is starting to grow and grow, so they have compatibility with a ton of other platforms like pricing platforms, lock, smart heating, smart ACs, everything you can really think of can now start to flow through here. Even guest verification and screening processes will come through here as well, which is super cool. We're going to try to keep this video short, so I'm just going to run with about 3 minutes on each platform. So here's what it looks like. Here's all of my listings that you can see here on the right, the different platforms that they're on and the listings that are active. Cool thing about Hospitable, which we'll dive into in a second, is you can make your whole direct booking platform out of here. But this is super simple. We'll go into a property and just, if you'd like to, you can go ahead and edit any of the details just right in here. These are all pulled from Airbnb. But you can edit the details right here and they'll sync to both platforms or however many platforms you have. Cool little things that you can enter as well are like guidebook for short codes and messages, rental agreements, upsells, and stuff like that. These little short codes we can really dive into once we go over to guest experience. But similar to Airbnb and VRBO, you got your calendar as well. Cool thing about this is, like I said, it syncs with every other platform. So boom, we've got a property here, our property E20 out in California, has an Airbnb booking, also has a VRBO booking. So it's all right here to avoid any double booking. Super easy and intuitive if you are still doing manual pricing updates and not using a tool like Price Labs, which we'll get into next. You can do all your updates right from here. Same with minimum stay and discounts, or you can click into the actual property and go ahead and edit those prices here. Add little notes as well, and again, this syncs across all the platforms, so super helpful. Gosh, there's so much cool stuff about this. I'm gonna have to do a deep dive on Hospitable soon, but next we got guest experience, and this is where I really geek out. These are all our messaging roles, so these are all automated. Some are AI recognized responses, which we'll get into here. Some are for all of our properties, which we got here, and then we have the specifics for each property. So we'll do one of each. Here's one that comes for all of our properties. Once the pre-approval is hit on Airbnb or VRBO, it spits out this message. Woohoo, you've been pre-approved to book. These short codes will automatically put in their check-in and check-out dates as long as they're, as well as their amount of guests and the nights that they're there. And this gets sent immediately after we hit that button, so we don't have to do anything about it. Immediately after the team hits that button. And this is for all the properties that we manage. Super cool function, just eliminate as much of the typing and back and forth as you can. That's my goal with this, and that's what Hospitable wants to help you out with. Another cool thing is, so this is a message that will automatically be sent anytime a guest asks about the hot tub. So you can do this for restaurants, parking, AC, heating, pools. There's a bunch of different options that you can use. I've got this one because this property has a hot tub. Pretty common for people to ask questions whether they see the guidebook or not. You know, it can be a confusing thing sometimes. So we keep those instructions all written in here. These are already written up. This is timed to be answered instantly when a hot tub question is detected, and only at one property. So you ask me, hey Justin, how's the hot tub work? This comes immediately, so your response time is out of this world. Super cool tool. And then the last one, this is pretty standard. I don't know if Airbnb has this, but I don't know if VRBO has this, but Airbnb has automated messages as well. So if you don't use a PMS, you can do this in Airbnb. But what we have is just 5 hours before check-in, we just have our check-in message with all of our stuff in here. The cool thing here is our Yale locks that we use and Schlage locks sync with this. So the automatically generated smart code that happens with the integration between Airbnb or VRBO and our lock system will be just placed in there, so we don't have to do anything. It's all automated. Then this gets sent to the guest, and they have most of the common things that people will ask at the beginning: TV, trash, parking, how to get in, and most importantly, Wi-Fi. So again, this is 5 hours before check-in. This is just an automated, simple thing that's always going to come to every guest. Nice. So same thing you can do with reviews is, I don't need to walk you through this, but you can do automatic reviews and you can change the sending time so that they're always kind of sent out there to make sure that you're always getting reviews back and that reminders are sent out as well. Last piece we'll touch on today is, this is super cool for your team. So you can add teammates. Right in here, we have our cleaners, we have a couple owners in here, we have a couple maintenance technicians. The most this is used for is cleaners, and I'll tell you why. Is anytime there's a new reservation, they're going to get a text at any of the properties that they're assigned to. Same with altered or canceled reservations. Then there's also some reminders you can set up that I like to do for day before checkout, like, hey, just a reminder, let's say someone booked in January for June. If they get that new reservation text in January, 6 months later, they might not remember it. So a day before, send them a little reminder, and then 2 hours before checkout, like the morning of, a reminder as well. Like, hey, this is when they're checking out, just in case, of course, there's a back-to-back. Cool thing too, you can also add some cleaning checklists in here, and I'll show you what these look like. So I've just made them with Google Forms, and then you can add the link in here. The cleaner can get it, and then they can check off the things that they've done or what needs to be done. I can talk a little bit more about this and setting up these messages in another video. So that was hospitable. Geez, I blew over so many cool parts of this tool. So we'll have to do a deep dive later. So here comes number two. Price Labs. I have loved this tool ever since I started using it about 2 years ago, and still I am learning new things about it. That's how amazing and in-depth it is. This is where I pretty much live out of, is their dashboard. They make it super cool. You can edit all of this stuff. I won't walk through this. So the things that I want to see, the ones I focus on the most are occupancy, and then sometimes I touch on our average daily rate, but I like to get a better overview of that within the calendar that I'll show you in a second. But this is our dashboard for all the properties we manage. I've set up what does our total occupancy look like in the next 30, 60, and 90 days, and then you can go ahead and hover over them, and you can see what the listing is. So our listing 136, 63% occupancy the next 30 days. The market's at 19. We're crushing. Same with the next 60 days, 63 to 14, 90 days, 52 to 11%. Where we might not be so crushing and we're just kind of sitting around market rates, you can see it'll pop up red. So maybe you should go in there and change up pricing or something like that. Cool thing too is, I don't use this a lot, but it's helpful to see what your listing is getting now and what you got last year. So $439 is the average daily rate for the next 60 days at this property. Last year was at $302. You can see the total revenue. Total revenue for the past 30 days was around $3,800. Last year was $3,300. Total revenue year to date, same time last year. Pretty much similar, within $200 of each other. But super cool to check out and just see how you compare to last year's stuff. So that's where Price Labs gets super helpful. So we'll dive into what a calendar looks like once you go in there. So I have a video coming on how to set up customizations and everything down here, but we won't mess with that right now. You set up minimum, base, and maximum prices, which is super cool and helpful. You can use this little neighborhood data tool to kind of determine those prices. Here it loads in a second. You'll be able to see exactly what the entire market is priced at different percentile ranges, which is super cool. The black line is us, and then, so you'll notice here our black line is pretty low. But if you look at our upcoming bookings, we're definitely higher than the black line in the near 80 to 90 percentile range, and even above in the 100th percentile for some of the farther out ones. My favorite thing here is, once you've been on here for a while, you can see your last year bookings, and you can just see the difference April 19th. Last year was booked on March 6th for $350 a night. This year was booked on November 9th for $438. So longer lead time and a higher price every time. Love it. We won't get into the weeds on that, but this neighborhood data tool is super helpful for you to see how your property measures up to some of the properties in the area. And then within this calendar, you can go ahead and make edits to individual dates. You can also set minimum pricing tools and requirements, and also, I mean, the customizations are out of this world. I have a whole separate video for that will be uploaded in a couple weeks. All right, last but not least, you need to really understand the property that you're going to get in market a little bit. While Price Labs does this once you're already in the game, before you get in the game, or maybe when you're just getting started, you need a couple opinions. So this is where tools like AirDNA and Awning come in. I believe they both have paid services, but their free services have really expanded to help out potential homeowners and property managers really understand what's going on in the market. So we're going to dive into those next. First one is AirDNA. I have a paid subscription to this, but you can see here and start for free. And there are super, super cool things that you can do here. Everything from calculating how much your ROI is going to be on an investment. You can see exactly how other properties are being booked or occupied, their reviews, where they're listed, all that stuff. You could go to see your neighbor if they're listed and see exactly how much they made last year, give or take a couple $100 or $1,000 bucks. But like they say here, it truly is next level insight. And this isn't a paid. How many subscribers do we have? A handful, maybe one. There's by no means is this paid. I'm just telling you, this is something that I've used for years and is super helpful. I can show you what it looks like on the inside. And this is fairly similar for a between paid and free. Just some of the things that you're going to be able to see. But let's go ahead and pick a country. Well, first and foremost, let's just see what this main page looks like, and then I'll show you. So if you're really starting from scratch and you're like, okay, where am I going next? This will have, literally, you're looking at the top-rated Airbnb markets in the country. And you can do the world if you want to pick on different continents, which is cool, but it kind of gives you a brief overview of what the best places are. And it's even telling me right now the best places in 2024 are out, so check them out. Something I'll do after this video. But I'm going to look up one of our properties. Oh, there we go. This is a property just near one of our units in the same complex. So this is just going to show you, so you can type in any address. You want to go ahead and make sure, let's put this up to 12, because I know some of these homes have 4-bed and 4-bath, but they fit two beds in there, which is cool to kind of expand the amount of people that are able to book in there. But basically what you're seeing is in the middle here, these are all year one projections. Keep that in mind. 84K, 52% occupancy is what is kind of average, but remember, we can do a lot to change that with our Price Labs techniques to kind of bring that occupancy up and also still achieve this daily rate to kind of boost this number a little bit. But you'll be able to see what the projected monthly revenue is. This is super helpful if you're a property manager trying to get new clients and also trying to understand how your property fits in with the market. But again, this is also helpful for homeowners to see, like, how much can I really get for this place once your mortgage and everything is accounted for. Some of the amenities that are most common in this area. And then the coolest thing, which is also over here, is a little map of other properties around you and how much they're making, what their occupancy is. And you can click into any of these and actually see their listing and their calendar. You could do the same down here. And caveat on this is always look for properties that have over 50 reviews for me is where I would go, maybe over 40. But see this guy right down here, it's got 1 review. It did not make 92K this last year. That is still a projection from Airbnb. So then that's just based on how their property is priced. That's not real data. But somewhere over here has 103 reviews. They're probably pretty close to this 117K number. So something to keep in mind, and go play around with this tool. It's super helpful. Last but not least, a little supplement I use sometimes to check out new markets and also might have some better free tools than AirDNA before you get to the paid subscription is Awning. Awning is an awesome tool, very similar to AirDNA. This is where you can actually analyze markets, which is really cool. So if we do Seattle, there we go. And it's just really cool for you to be able to understand markets and see what's out there, see what's getting booked. And this is just a more intuitive way to kind of check it out. You can see it'll only show you probably the top 5 or 10 that are here. If you sign in, I'm not signed in right now, but if you sign in for a free subscription, you're going to get all the insights and data on these properties, which is super cool. And much similar to, I'm not going to sign in now, but much similar to AirDNA, you can kind of dive into their calendar, see what's really going on. And this is a great place to get started and understand your properties and the markets around you. So while I breeze through this one, just make sure to keep in mind, use something like AirDNA or Awning when you're first getting started. And even throughout your time pricing your property over, a couple months, I'll check in on these two just to see what other people are doing and how they're really shaking out, because simply going to Airbnb and VRBO and checking out other people's pricing might be a little bit misleading. While it might be priced at that rate, doesn't necessarily means they're getting that rate. Their occupancy really could be hurting. So understand what the market is with tools like this. So to summarize, we touch base on a PMS Hospitable. This thing is super powerful. I didn't even get into all the app connections that they have. Just everything you can do, from custom message codes and shortcuts and all that stuff that can really help out with guest interaction and managing your team. Second is Price Labs, the powerhouse. One thing I didn't mention, it updates every 24 hours in the system, and then if you go in there and make any adjustments yourself, you can sync it right away in real time, which is awesome. And it is fast. It's within seconds. You hit sync, once that thing says it's good to go and it's green light, you go check Airbnb, Direct, VRBO, and the prices are updated. So super powerful tool. And then we had, last but not least, AirDNA and Awning. These are two tools that you need to really understand your market and how your home stands apart or might be lagging behind. So I hope you found some value in this video. Please like and subscribe if you want to see more videos about Airbnb and property management, VRBO, and everything like that. And until next time, I'll still be drinking this green tea. I'll see you there. Bye-bye.